Coach is physical conditioner Alex Ariza. The bell rings for round one. Will the magical life of Manny Pacquiao over the course of the past couple of years continue? The difference in hand speed will be immediately apparent.
Don't step on it, don't step on it.
Pacquiao's left hand was blocked by Clottey's gloves. Clottey is not throwing. He's really only thrown a few punches so far. Pacquiao is seeing most of his stuff blocked, but gets a little left hand in there.
But you know, Clottey right now is fighting his fight, and it's what he should do. He can never try to match Manny with punch for punch. That's not him. But I think the way he's fighting, trying to just get close and eventually start shooting a little pecky right-hand lead through the center is what he's got to do.
Clottey went into his deep defensive guard at that time, both hands up, gloves in front of his face. Pacquiao banged away against his arms as they went to the ropes.
I think these first few minutes have enormous significance. Clottey came out looking like he wants to see what this force of nature is all about, and I think Pacquiao has to impress him here to keep him on the defensive. So far, Clottey doesn't look overly impressed.
Nope, he's giving a lot of problems to Manny at this stage right now. Manny cannot figure him out because so far he's not been able to land a punch, but he should have expected that. You know, the talk of him going out and knocking out Clottey, I just was always ridiculous. I think it's going to be a long fight.
Well, Clottey's so much bigger and stronger.
Yeah, but
you know, and plus he's skilled and talented, particularly as a defender. So how could it be an easy fight?
It can't. You're right. And the best thing that Manny can do is try to catch Clottey when he punches. That's when he's most vulnerable. Not right now.
But already you see the problem for Clottey in terms of the punch output equation. How can he win rounds when he's throwing about one punch for every 3 or 4 that Pacquiao releases, or so it appears? Body shot by Pacquiao. Clottey short with the jab.
It seems unlikely that Clottey can win rounds short of hurting Pacquiao, but he has shown in this first round that he can catch Pacquiao clean.
And just did there with a jab.
Just what I said, he had to come back with a little tail end punches. Right.
Hard right hand by Clottey.
Because his right hand and his left hand is so high at the same level of Manny's head, which means it's very easy for him to shoot short, direct punches.
Pacquiao has landed 2 punches on Clottey's belt line, and referee Rafael Ramos has let them both go. It was not a good round for him. He only landed 11, but Clottey only threw 35 punches. So how do you win a round when the other man has thrown twice as many punches and is the more dynamic fighter anyway?
Well, as the fight goes on, if Manny gets a little frustrated and loses his spirit because of the fact that he can't land the shot, you'll probably see Clottey start to land them little short punches just like he tried to do right there. Just as Manny backs away and he's relaxing, those little shots come out such a short distance where he can't see them.
The question is, can Clottey at any point hurt Pacquiao with one of these straight shots he's shooting up the middle?
He may not, but as going down the stretch, the fight's going to be a very tight fight, I think. And right now, the fight is going more to Clottey's planning, I think, than Manny, because Manny thought he would be able to penetrate a little bit by now, but so far he's not found the solution.
So, will Pacquiao be patient? Can he take several rounds and try to construct a way of picking Clottey apart? Or will he get frustrated and impatient?
Well, I tell you what, he's throwing shots that he still hasn't been able to do too much. And the main thing, I think he should start preparing himself to try to win a decision, as I said earlier.
Well, he's preparing to win a decision because unless I'm totally out to lunch here, and barring a big change, he'll exit this round up 2-0 on the scorecards. That punch was well below the belt line. It didn't do any real damage. There's another one right on the belt. Rafael is letting both fighters throw at the belt line. There's a combination for Pacquiao. And he manages to rip a left through the guard. Clottey pretends to wobble.
Usually a sign that a fighter's actually hurt. It doesn't look like Clottey was hurt there.
No, Clottey's not hurt. I think really he's getting very comfortable in this fight right now.
Clottey tried the first couple of uppercuts a moment ago. That's what he hopes will be a big weapon. But when he throws the uppercut with the left, Pacquiao will counter with that brilliant right hook of his. That's been a very damaging punch. There's a good left for Clottey, straight onto the face of Pacquiao.
Clottey's landing effective punches. Manny's throwing them, but the really effective, those short point-to-point punches are more effective from Clottey than from Manny at this stage.
And yet Clottey's losing this round by a wide margin.
Agreed. And Pacquiao is starting to get some leather around Clottey's guard.
He's got to keep trying to find a way to get through. He's got to try to get those points. Swartz going for the points. Here you see Clottey blocking some shots, and then I think he's going to do his little jig, imitating as if he was hurt. But I think it's part of him getting more relaxed with the situation now.
Too relaxed.
Too relaxed.
Too relaxed. He allowed Pacquiao to throw 96 punches in that round, and he threw 27. It doesn't matter to me if he's landing clean shots. You can't win around that way.
You let Pacquiao really start to move his hands, he'll relax you all the way.
That's right. He'll put you to sleep. I agree with you, Emmanuel, that Clottey feels comfortable with what he's doing.
Yeah, but Manny's winning the fight. He's doing what he's doing. You got to remember to keep just doing what he's doing, just out-punching this guy. Don't go for a knockout.
Yeah, what Clottey has not been able to do is to stop Pacquiao from throwing so many punches. And he thought maybe he could.
No, he can't stop him from doing that. Manny's going to throw punches. But I don't get a certain point, you start getting a little frustrated still when you're throwing punches, and really for clean punches yourself, you're not landing anything. To me, still, the effective punches are from Clottey. He may be being outworked, but he's landing the effective punches.
Well, I've seen a lot of effective punches from Pacquiao, in fact, more than from Clottey, although not as a percentage of the punches that Pacquiao's throwing. Clottey's making every punch count, but he, as Jim, you say, he needs to throw more of them.
I see Clottey landing the straight punches, the clean punches.
Perhaps, Emmanuel, but he threw 27 and landed 5 in the last round, but Manny threw 96.
I said Manny's winning the fight, but I'm saying the clean, effective punches are still, to me, coming from Clottey.
There's not
enough of them.
Yeah,
it's not enough.
And they're cleaner punches, but even when Clottey's blocking some of these Pacquiao shots, they're partially blocked. They're also partially landing.
And Manny, interestingly, has shown more focus to the body in the first couple rounds than I think I've seen from him in quite a while.
Looks like Pacquiao's also felt Clottey's power more in this third round.
Definitely. His head was snapped up by an uppercut. But nothing stops him from pouring the punches on. A minute left in the round. He's already thrown 61 punches in the round. Hard right hand by Clottey. Best punch of the fight.
And that's going to have to be what Clottey does if he hopes to win.
Well, see, Manning's got to be careful he don't get frustrated after a while of just punching and not hitting nothing but arms. He's got to realize he got to work this guy and try to win this decision and not get frustrated.
One of these crisp counters of Clottey's that you pointed out, Emmanuel, has to land hard enough to hurt Pacquiao, I think, at some point in the fight. It doesn't have to be right now, but at some point he has to throw it with real conviction.
I agree.
Joshua Clottey is doing exactly what he wants to do, but his offensive output is simply too limited for him to be able to compete on the scorecards with Manny Pacquiao at this moment.
Here you see, which is maybe typical of Clottey's effective punches, the little simple, little straight little shots that he's landing, but the problem is he's not throwing enough of them. But his punches are very effective when he does deliver.
CompuBox numbers through round 3. Landed punches, no huge difference. Pacquiao 44. He's got a margin over Clottey, who's landed 26. The difference is Pacquiao has thrown 281, and Clottey has only thrown 100 in the first 3 rounds. So Manny is averaging 93 punches per round in the first 3 rounds, and Clottey is averaging 33. Harold, how do you have it?
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Manny Pacquiao. You know, Jim, he's so smart, it's amazing. You know, you come out and you see a guy covered up like Winky Wright, hands held high, elbows in tight. What do? You step around. Manny Pacquiao keeps stepping around the guy and whacking him in the ribs and piling up points. Forget the fact that he's breaking him down to the body. I mean, just keeps banging him in the ribs, banging him in his watch. You see, he'll step right there. See, he steps around and he usually follows it with a, there he goes, stepping around again, banging to the body.
Harold,
3-0, Manny.
You agree this is the most body punching we've seen Pacquiao do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, beautiful body punching, no question. This guy's covered up. You can't hit him in the jaw. You bang him in the body.
You know, that said, and Harold, you're right, but we've seen already in 3 rounds, 3.5 rounds, Manny Pacquiao hit cleanly to the head, more than we've seen him hit cleanly to the head in the Diaz, De La Hoya, Hatton, and Cotto fights combined, I think. And Cotto had some success early.
Yes, he did. Most people gave Cotto a couple of rounds, the first and the 5th.
No. Okay, let's go. Come on.
I'm not sure what Rafael was stopping them for a second there.
Pacquiao looked like threw a right and left hand at the same time, like clapped Clottey.
Harold, what was Rafael dealing with there?
Jim, you can't hit the guy with 2 hands. Manny Pacquiao threw 2 hands at once. Rafael
Here we go.
overthrown him.
Clottey backed into a corner and for a moment was inert as Manny banged away. I'm not sure what's happening to Joshua Clottey and why he's not throwing Emmanuel. There he goes. Went a long time without releasing his hands there.
Yeah, and Manny's scoring those points too in the meantime.
Well, I think Manny's breaking his guard down. It looks to me as though he's starting to land more. Clottey's still tight, muscular, so controlled. He's like a welterweight tank in there, the way he's built.
Both guys are fighting the fight that they plan to a great degree. It's what's going to be interesting to see who wins out in the end. Because Pacquiao said he's going to be punching, moving in and out, side to side, giving him angles. Clottey said he's going to cover up and try to break his will by just letting him punch himself out. So it's going to be interesting to see how this fight finishes up.
Those are 2 hard body shots for Clottey.
Well, Pacquiao has hurt and knocked fighters out in recent years by hitting them with punches they didn't see coming from awkward angles. And Clottey, because he's paying so much attention to his defense, is not getting hit with those punches.
Clottey scored with a good left hand. There are just too few of them for Clottey. Long stretches without offensive output. Pacquiao is consistently throwing and throwing.
Here we see I guess the referee called infraction rule when he like clapped his head between both heads, something I've never saw did before. and you see him in the corner where Manny just pummeling him right here with some great shots in there. Nothing that landed that clean, but it was enough to get excitement and got everyone, including me, thinking that maybe Clottey was hurt.
Yeah, on the replay, saw nothing landed.
I was impressed that Pacquiao was throwing 93 punches around in the first 3 rounds. In the 4th round, he threw 116 and moved his landed punches number up to 24. Clottey was 10 out of only 21 punches thrown.
Well, that's what Manny's going to have to do to win this fight, because he's going to have to go for a decision. And, you know, going down the stretch, he's got to be ready to hold up just in case this man starts putting a little bit more punches together in addition to just walking in.
Well, right here you see Clottey applying a little more pressure early in this round, though he's still not moving his hands.
mentioned several times in building up to the fight that Clottey is fighting for the first time with trainer Lenny DeJesus, and DeJesus has spent most of his career as a cut man, not as a trainer. In fact, he was Manny Pacquiao's cut man in Pacquiao's last loss against Eric Morales in 2005. Clottey wanted a trainer who worked with him earlier in his career in Ghana, Clottey, to come here and handle him for this fight. But the United States Immigration Department did not allow a visa for Clottey. And that left Clottey having to fight in what amount to makeshift circumstances for him. He's such a veteran, and he's so deeply ingrained in his own style that it's hard to imagine it would affect him all that much. But of course, you always want to have the training camp with the trainer you prefer.
Yeah, but I was not super impressed with his trainer before, so I think Lenny DeJesus would do very well. But I mean, psychologically, it would be a problem with him. But I was understanding that he was going back and forth between the trainers recently anyway, even before this guy was
Well, he didn't want the trainer who trained him in New York for the Cotto fight. He wanted Clottey, who had worked with him earlier in his career. That's who he couldn't get. And now he winds up with DeJesus as sort of a last resort. Pacquiao, of course, his relationship with Freddie Roach is probably the strongest relationship of any fighter and trainer in this group.
Now, this is when Manny has a good chance to try to hurt Clottey when he starts punching, and that's when he leaves himself open a little bit. See that? When he punches, he pulls his head up. And that's when Manny has to try to catch when he's punching himself.
And when Clottey just guards like this and doesn't let his hands go, he's giving the fight away. Yeah, he has no chance.
If he punches himself, he may get caught, so that's his safety factor.
I'm not sure Joshua Clottey came to win tonight. Average per round through 5 rounds. Pacquiao 16 out of 99. Clottey 9 out of 30. Pacquiao has won 5 consecutive rounds to start the fight.
No, Pacquiao is not hurting Clottey. He is reducing Clottey to what he reduces all fighters to that he's fought recently. He's overwhelming Clottey. This is not as though Clottey's not fighting as he normally does. This is how he fights. He likes to block punches before he counters, and Pacquiao's offense is so overwhelming, Pacquiao never stops punching and Clottey never stops blocking.
In the last 30 years, there have been 3 star fighters from Ghana. The very great Azuma Nelson fought to win in every fight. No flies on him. And both Ike Quartey and Joshua Clottey have been spectacularly talented in the ring.
But going down the stretch in those close fights, Quartey never did stretch out. He was going to a safety zone. That's why he lost his big fights. And at this stage right here, this fighter here looked like he's the same type. He's come from the same mold. He's got the talent, but he seems to be still a little too reserved. And word of getting tired.
Not willing to lay himself on the line to try to win the fight.
Right. But this is how Clottey fights, and normally it's enough to win, except when he's stepped up against the best guy.
But he knew he was fighting Manny Pacquiao.
When he steps up in class, he loses.
And what we all knew is that he would have to be someone he's not to win. We're asking a lot of him.
Right. He's being who he is.
And I think it's really a testament to Pacquiao so far.
Well, you know, if this is the verdict and we're going to watch 12 rounds of this, then Pacquiao's too good. Throws too much, moves too much, commands the ring too much. He's been in charge of the ring.
And yet Clottey is landing.
Yep, lands both of those right hands. Lands that combination. But now here comes Manny.
This is a very active round by Clottey standards, and Pacquiao still outthrowing him.
I think he would do more if he would throw more punches than Clottey, but, you know, somewhere along the line, I know Manny is a machine, but, you know, I don't know if he's going to get tired physically or mentally.
But, Emmanuel, as you mentioned, Clottey doesn't open up because that's when Manny Pacquiao catches opponents in combinations, in exchanges. Well, the best way to stay on your feet is not to open up against Pacquiao.
It's another onslaught by Pacquiao to cement the round. His 4-hour workouts are becoming legendary in the sport, so if he gets tired, that's an event. And once again, in the round, Pacquiao is going to throw close to 100 punches, 94, and Clottey threw 35. You cannot win the fight. Past the halfway point of the fight, round 7 begins. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 6-0, obviously. 60-54, Manny Pacquiao. I got to tell you something, Jim. People may hate me for saying this, but you know what? This guy's fighting scared. I mean, he doesn't want to open up. Lenny DeJesus is begging him, open up, punch, punch. He won't do it. And he won't
he just
do
opened
it.
up
Wait
there,
a minute,
Harold.
Max. Everybody said he was the bigger guy, the stronger guy. He opens up once in a while, but just like Jim says, not nearly enough to win a round. He's already given up 6 rounds, and every time Manny Pacquiao steps around and attacks him, he covers up. I mean, the guy is fighting a scared fight, and that's all there is to it. Manny Pacquiao winning all these rounds with clean, effective punching. 6-0, Pacquiao.
I mean, the reality of Pacquiao is, yeah, first of all, Clottey opened up a little bit there. He had momentary success.
Right.
But if you open up against Pacquiao, when it is unwise to do so, you go to sleep. And so to fight a scared fight, I mean, he's clear, you know, Clottey's not known for a high output in the first place. And now he's facing a guy who can punch and who's throwing 100 punches around and stepping around him and boxing him beautifully. You move your hands at your own peril.
A big thing is that Clottey just isn't trying to counter Pacquiao. He's not taking advantage of Pacquiao's aggression in any way. That's what he would have to do, it seems to me, to win the fight.
He don't want to take a risk.
Well, you can't win unless you're going to take a risk. I mean, you're already down 6 rounds against the best fighter in the world. Give yourself a shot. That's what Lenny DeJesus is trying to say.
Well, champions are made on the inside. I've always said that. It's made from the way they think and the heart. It's not so much all the time the skills. And that's why Manny is the champion and he is the challenger. He doesn't want to take the risk. He doesn't think like a champion.
Duarte was right there with De La Hoya for 12 rounds. Yeah. Oscar took risks in the 12th round and knocked him down.
And everything you're saying, guys, is right. But I see a mouse on Manny Pacquiao's right eye. I've seen him hit here in this fight more than he's been hit against, as I mentioned, De La Hoya, Cotto, Diaz, Hatton. I mean, he's beaten the hell out of everybody recently. Clottey's not the only one. In fact, he's doing a little better than those other guys.
Yep. Good quick hook by Pacquiao as Clottey was trying to come in. Pacquiao's defense and ring generalship have been good too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been watching his defense.
Stayed off the ropes.
Yep. Very good defense.
Clottey was 7 of 39. What's significant about the 39 punches? Well, those are the most punches that Clottey has thrown in any round in this fight. But the welterweight average is about 56. So he hasn't been even within range of an average welterweight's offensive output at any time in the fight. Pacquiao, on the other hand, is averaging nearly 100 punches thrown per round against a guy who's bigger and stronger. Manny Pacquiao is amazing. It's as simple as that.
I guess that's my point, Jim, is I see this as a brilliant Pacquiao more than a scared Clottey.
Remember, of course, that regardless of the outcome of tonight's fight, Pacquiao begins a political campaign for a position in the national legislature of the Philippines on March 26th. And if he's elected, he enters the legislature as a representative in July. And who knows what that would do to his boxing career, or even to his popularity as a Filipino icon. They don't love politicians the same way they do athletes.
Time out! Time out! You okay? Time out. Bring it up, okay? Okay? Time in, let's go!
Accidental headbutt. Oh, low blow.
Also, Clottey, while being physically strong and having talent, is not exactly an A+ talent fighter. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the biggest puncher.
More like an A- talent fighter.
Yes.
And at the end of the day,
You okay? Let's go.
maybe
You
never
okay?
enough offensive
Let's go.
game to really go to the top. There you go. 4-punch, 5-punch, 6-punch combination. Body shot, bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Try and stop it. Bang, bang. Here I come. Bang. Do you want to throw sometime? Bang. This is the Manny Pacquiao who has dominated boxing for the past 3 years. Bang. Bang, 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 bang.
And when
Do you want to
Pacquiao
throw back? Bang. Keep coming.
When Pacquiao starts doing this, now I tend to agree, Clottey has to do something to keep him off.
No.
He isn't. Another one-sided round.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, it was a huge number. Bang, 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 as I pointed out. And Clottey did not have an answer in the corner when Lenny DeJesus said, "You're losing every damned round."
Well, he's used to that. I guess when he just doesn't want to stretch out and take any risk at all. He's trying to win safety, but it's not going to happen. He realizes that this guy's out punching him, and when he does punch, he doesn't land that clearly on Manny anymore. He needs to step it up, but he's not willing to take that risk.
First half of the fight, I would say that Clottey wasn't out of his mind to play some defense and try to pick his shots when he could.
Right.
Hard shots.
But
now we're into the point of the fight. Now we're in the 9th round. He's lost every round. He's starting to get tagged more cleanly and more frequently. Now is the time in the fight where I wholeheartedly agree Clottey must really take chances because the win is already out of reach if he doesn't. It's going to have to be a knockout for him to win.
I'm sorry, whether he was intimidated by Pacquiao's reputation or intimidated by what Pacquiao did in the ring, or whether he didn't mentally prepare in such a way to be ready to take the risks, he hasn't given himself any chance in the fight.
well, this is him fighting his regular fight to me.
Yeah, early
this is
on.
his regular fight.
There you go. Best attack of the night by Joshua Clottey.
But Manny's doing the Clottey on him.
He's covering up.
He's blocking those shots.
Yep.
And hoping he can keep him punching like that and maybe he can catch him.
Manny's defense has improved during the fight.
Yes, it is.
And he's still able to release his hands freely inside and out. Like that. And that. What an amazing combination puncher this man is. What a fabulous offensive fighting machine.
Yes, and Clottey has never been in this type of a challenge. And to me, I see him just falling apart mentally.
Early on, he seemed to be trying to take Pacquiao's measure. Look at this. I can hit him cleanly. Maybe I can set him up. And at some point along the way, Pacquiao, it seems, has convinced him he can't win the fight.
A sportsman-like touching of the gloves at the end of the 9th round. Tacit acknowledgement by Clottey. Yep, you've got me. You know, I just caught Joshua Clottey's eye as he came into the ring, and he gave me a look of discouragement.
Yep. You know, when you're fighting for a championship of the world with everything on the line, millions of dollars, and you're not even throwing punches, I mean, there's no excuse for that. You know, you sort of let everything hang out. Even if you get knocked out, at least go out fighting.
Tough fight to score, Harold.
The only thing tough about this fight is you wonder if you should give Manny Pacquiao a 10-8 round. He's winning these rounds so big. That's the only tough part, Jim. 9-0, 90-81. Manny Pacquiao based on all those clean punches. I mean, and like you said, ring generalship and good Manny Pacquiao defense. See that? He blocked those shots. I mean, he's just winning these rounds convincingly. So, you know, you sit there wondering, should you give him the extra point? Should you give him the extra point? But Joshua Clottey throws just enough to avoid the 10-8 round. 9-0 Pacquiao.
And as Manny Pacquiao continues to bang away against Joshua Clottey's guard, occasionally getting a punch around the guard or through it, and Clottey throws one punch at a time, as he's done all night long, our Max Kellerman winds up in the Pacquiao corner with training Lenny DeJesus. Max, take it away.
Lenny DeJesus, early on, Clottey seemed to be countering at times effectively, never moving his hands enough. At this point, he obviously needs something dramatic to win. What's going on?
I'm telling you, he went back to his old style. We're trying to push him to throw more punches, because if he throw punches, he create openings, but he's not doing that. I think he's being too cautious. In the game, he has to take a chance, but he's not.
Why do you think that is?
I think he's feeling Manny Pacquiao's power, and he doesn't want to take the chance. Simple as that.
Thanks, Lenny.
Fascinating. 2 years ago, Pacquiao was fighting at 135. Now Lenny believes that Clottey is scared of his power.
I think exactly the same way. I think he felt that power advantage, and then he took it, so he didn't want to take a risk. And that's just why Manny is a champion. Manny will gamble. You know, when you're fighting for the championship, you don't try to win the title from a champion. You take it from him. You come in with that attitude, I'm going to take it. This is mine. Give it to me.
Well,
and he's not fighting that way. He's just trying to just survive, you know, don't get hurt. You know, do that later on, but you're fighting for the championship of the world, man. Let it all go.
Now, here's another point, and you just made this point about Pacquiao, really. You cannot be a great offensive fighter without taking risks. Manny Pacquiao is never afraid to take risks.
Right. And that's why he's a champ. You know, and to me, such a drastic change after being with a fighter like Tommy Hearns. When you tell him sometimes to play it safe, he says, no, I've got to go out and fight. I mean, it's really frustrating like that.
Pacquiao is having to work. Pacquiao is taking some punches. Pacquiao is getting hit and bruised. Pacquiao is winning big. He's thrown more punches in this fight than in any fight he has ever appeared in before.
Because he's had to, and he did it. Whatever he had to do, he did it. He saw he wasn't going to land the clean punches or the knockout. He said, let me just start putting these, you know, they're like putting money in the bank. Start building up, building up. And that's what I thought he should do, and he's doing a great job.
No.
And I'll tell you what, Emmanuel.
Let's go.
I've never really said this before. Of all of Pacquiao's fabulous assets, I'm beginning to think that his greatest is his heart.
Well, he thinks and fights like a champion. And that's what makes him. And champions are made on the inside.
And it's especially good when on the outside you're as fast as anyone, a very hard puncher, and have endless stamina.
.213, 212, 210. Time running down. Lenny DeJesus asked Clottey to take a chance. Hasn't happened so far.
But you see, who are we expecting to show up tonight? Clottey seemed to be winning the Cotto fight late and eased off the accelerator and wound up losing a fight he could have won against an inactive opponent.
Very Quartet-like.
But I think also he's felt the power of Manny Pacquiao too, and I think that's increased his tendency to hold back.
And you see
and
when
his hesitation.
When he came out early in this round after DeJesus exhorted him to take chances, he tried to kind of take a chance in his way early in the round and then got discouraged and went back to who he is.
See what Manny's doing.
What
he
a
gets hit
display
with
of body
back,
punching.
and he comes right back. If you hit me, I'm going to come back with 5 more punches. That's what
the
a champion
competitor
does.
in his
Right. And Clottey, it doesn't have that in him. That's the difference.
Oh, what a display. What an amazing display by Pacquiao. Clottey's having maybe his best round, and Pacquiao is rising to the occasion.
Take it right back from him. He's not going to let him have it.
comes back with the right hook, as you knew he would.
See that?
Good one, too, by Pacquiao. Savages Clottey with the left hand.
But Manny's going to take this part of this round right back. He's not going to let him
Absolutely right.
That's it.
He'll let Clottey have a couple of punches here and there, but then he rallies. In the books. 1 round to go. Manny Pacquiao is blowing the roof off of Dallas Cowboys Stadium. What can't he do? Somebody might give him a sympathy round.
Well, this is going to be a very
I don't see which
round.
one. I don't see which sympathy round you could give to Clottey.
I agree.
It's a shutout.
Let's see who closes the show.
Clottey's never been knocked out.
Manny landed 36 punches in the 11th round, his high number for the fight. Maybe he has softened Clottey up.
And you're right, though. This is more impressive because here's a fight where he's fighting a guy who doesn't punch much. I mean, he's got to throw almost double what he normally would have to throw in an opponent who would be punching back.
Look, we know what Clottey is. He's not an elite champion,
Hard
pound
left
for
hook
pound
by
kind of fighter. But we also know he's an...
Come on, let's go.
They bump heads again.
You okay? You okay? Let's go. Come on, clean. Last round, let's go.
Incidentally, both sportsmanlike and they like each other. You know, Clottey wasn't able to generate any animosity toward Pacquiao if it would have helped him.
It wouldn't have made any difference.
We do know that Clottey is a top welterweight, no excuses in his prime, and we've seen what he's done against other top welterweights, barely lost, and he can't win a round against Pacquiao.
And it's not that he's been getting hit that much. He can't win around because he's not willing to throw punches. And that's the thing. And Manny doesn't hit him with that many clean punches, but he's just outworking him. He's doing just what he has to do.
Somewhere tonight, both Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather are likely watching this. Scouting report, so to speak. Surely, the winner of Mosley-Mayweather on May 1 is going to be looking forward to the possibility of getting together with Pacquiao. What are they seeing? What are they looking at as they watch this? Surely in Mayweather's mind, he's looking at someone whom he can bottle up and defend the way he has done to virtually every other opponent in his career.
Well,
In Mosley's mind, he's probably thinking, I'll trade with him. Let's see if he's as hard a puncher as I am.
Well, that is the fight, even though it doesn't have a marquee value, that is the fight that would be the best fight that could be made, would be Shane Mosley to me. And this man here.
Two offensive fighters.
Two offensive minds, guys who always come right back with flourishes whenever they get hit. I mean,
In terms of what would occur in the ring, absolutely right. You can't make a better spectacle in terms of the action in the ring and the level at which it would be contested than Mosley and Pacquiao.
Manny's grinning again with a minute to go.
In terms of the event and what the world wants to see, there's nothing that comes close to Pacquiao and Mayweather.
regardless of what much excitement is generated during the fight itself, that fight is a fight that the public wants and has made themselves. My dream fight with all of it, Manny Pacquiao and a prime Aaron Pryor.
Let's go.
The rest of the world's dream fight is Pacquiao and Mayweather, and their dream can come true if Mayweather takes care of business against Mosley.
Down the stretch they come. It looks as though Manny Pacquiao's spectacular winning streak continues as he hammers Joshua Clottey to the finish. If Clottey won a round, in my view, it was the 12th. Maybe it was a shutout. Either way, it was another spectacular performance by Manny Pacquiao, and thoroughly entertaining, apparently, for the 51,000 fans on hand.
The fighting pride of the Philippines, and still WBO welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacman Pacquiao.
Another dominant performance, another marquee victory for boxing's king of the world.